At Oxford College of Business, we offer world-class business qualifications awarded by some of the best universities in the world. That's because all we do, all we are, is business education.
Thank you, Mahesh. 4 districts in the island were severely affected when 4 major rivers broke their banks, inundating low-lying areas. The government also warned today that the areas in Colombo and Gampha districts, which were submerged last year, are at a risk of being inundated once again. Our reporters were on the ground and in the air bringing us the latest developments.
Ging River, Nilwala River, Kalu River and Kalani River overflowed today owing to heavy rains which exceeded 150 millimeters in the past 2 days. Aerial footage of Gaul, Mathura, Ratnapura and Kalutara districts shows severe flooding. Neluva in Gaul and surrounding areas have also been flooded. Uragaha and the entrance of the Mathura Expressway were affected by the floods, as were many areas of Valigama. A reading of 20 feet of water in Tavalama is considered a severe flood situation, and it was reached at around 8 am today. In Baddegama, the water meter showed a reading of 4 feet. 17 divisional secretariats in the Gaul district and over 7,157 persons from 1,866 families are affected by the floods. Due to the Ging River exceeding its water level, transportation along the Baddegama-Udugama road has been completely disrupted. Kianduva on the Gaul-Akurasa road were also affected. Due to the continuing rain in the Gaul district, fishermen were instructed to avoid going to the sea. The Pitabaddara water meter measuring the levels of the Nilwala River exceeded 4 feet, the flooding threshold, and reached 8 feet this morning. Kamburupitia in Mathura was also hit by the floods due to the Nilwala River breaking its bank. DMC reported that 30 people are missing in Mathura due to the floods. The residence of the State Minister of Finance, Lakshman Yapa Abeyvardhana, was also affected by the floods. 493 people from 119 families are affected in Hambantota. The Millakanda water meter, which measures the levels of the Kalu River, has also exceeded its threshold. The DMC reported that 36 people are affected by the floods in Kalutara. The Medagama-Kalutara main road was disrupted due to the Kalu River breaking its bank. The Gallas and Agalavatta areas were also affected. The outfall of the Kalu River expanded this evening due to the severe flooding. Even though a flooding situation was not reported in the early hours, by 10:30 this morning, the Ratnapura city was completely flooded. With stores in Ratnapura being completely submerged, a mission was carried out to rescue people inside. Reportedly, 128 people in 5 divisional secretariats of Ratnapura are affected. The Ratnapura-Panadura road was submerged while the Ratnapura-Colombo main road was also affected by the floods. Rescue missions were carried out by the Air Force in the Kahavatta area. Our cameras also captured the rescue of a little girl who was stranded by the floods. Meanwhile, the Kalani River also overflowed today. The water levels of Kalani River has risen due to the adverse weather condition across the country. The water meter of Nagalagam Vidya marks a height of 5.5 feet, posing a threat to the whole area. Convening a media briefing, the government instructed the people of Colombo and Gampha district living near the Kalani River to evacuate from the area. Due to the rising water levels of the Kalani River, the residents near the river were instructed by the police to evacuate from the area. Many areas, including the Kalaniya-Biyagama main road, were submerged by this evening.
Meanwhile, the adverse weather wreaking havoc in the country led to landslides in Gampha, Kalutara, Gaul, Mathura, Ratnapura, Hatton and Nuwara districts. The highest amount of landslides were reported from the Kalutara and Ratnapura districts.
16 persons have died so far due to landslides reported in 8 areas in the country. Kaluthara is reported to be the most severely affected. Land of the Kobovilla Hill in the Bulatsinhala area in Kaluthara slipped at 3 a.m. today, completely destroying 3 houses. Rescue teams were able to recover 4 bodies by this afternoon. However, the residents in the area were able to rescue 3 other persons and they have now been admitted to the Horna Base Hospital. Rescue missions are still underway for the missing persons in the area. Meanwhile, a landslide occurred in the Baduralia Belana area in Kaluthara at 2:30 a.m. Three houses were completely buried under mud and soil, and the bodies of 7 persons have been recovered by rescue efforts.
There were 4 residents in the nearby house. Only the father survived there. There were 5 people living in the house uphill. They all are buried along with the house.
Collaborative rescue efforts by the Tri-Forces, police and residents are underway, as another group of people are also reported to be missing. The district secretariat stated that evacuations in the area are underway and it has been identified as a risk zone. Bodies recovered from the disaster-hit areas such as Bogahawatta and Bulatsinhala in the Kaluthara district have been taken to the Pimbura Base Hospital under the supervision of Deputy Minister Palitha Tewara Perumal. Meanwhile, land of the Arambada Hill in Ahaliagoda also slipped this morning, burying 5 houses. 3 bodies have been recovered and search and rescue operations by the Tri-Forces are still underway. Another 3 houses were destroyed as land of the Bopata Hill in Ahaliagoda slipped today. Meanwhile, due to adverse weather in Heyantudua in Sapugaskanda, a wall collapsed onto a house, killing a woman and her daughter. The section between Matagama and Nebada of the Matagama-Kaluthara road was closed today due to a landslip which destroyed 2 buses. The National Building Research Organisation has advised the public to be cautious of possible landslides at 17 identified locations in Ratnapura, Kegol, Gaul and Kaluthara in the next 24 hours.
Also, Mahesh, for information regarding the current situation and rescue and relief effort, the Disaster Management Centre can be reached on their 24-hour hotlines 177 or 011 213 6226, 011 213 6136 and 077 395 7900. To request for boats for relief operations, you can contact the Ministry of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources on 071 645 3402, 077 465 2278 or 077 341 0575. The Ministry of City Planning and Water Supply has also issued 3 numbers for those who are experiencing water disruption in Mathura, Tangol and Ingiriya. They can be contacted on 077 77 243 60, 077 789 1332, 071 453 2222. And once again, for any emergency and if you are stranded and in need of assistance, you may contact the emergency rescue team on 117. That's it from the Weather Centre for the moment. I will have a full report on the 24-hour weather forecast later on in the bulletin. Mahesh, back to you.